You've got a big arena and you've got some real high level hockey going on at your arena. I would guess that ice quality is always an issue for you.
Absolutely. And, that's one of the things we work, to try and find that happy medium with all the groups, right? Well, Salmon Arm has been using it for a couple of years now, I believe. And one of the full-timers there is also a part-timer here every now and again. And he and I were chatting about stuff, and I actually went to visit their arena last spring just before they took the ice out. And we were talking about the REALice, and because their building dynamics are different, he says, yeah, once you figure it out, he thought it was perfectly fine. And it looked like it was setting up just like anything else we've done. And that was, again, in the spring when it was starting to warm up. So he says, yeah, once he figured it out, he didn't think it was a big deal.
What really was driving the change to go to a mechanical deaerator for your ice rink? Was it saving energy, reducing CO2 emissions, improving ice quality? What was really the impetus for the change?
The biggest part of the change, I will say, was the environmental savings that we could get, because the City of Vernon is trying to set an example. We've got a lot of green initiatives. We felt that between the arenas and the pool and the recreation department, this was an opportunity for us to make our difference for the community, the city, as far as recreation department goes. And the fact that energy savings, we all know that there's a lot of money spent on facilities. We can save a little bit. The quality of the ice is definitely something that was a concern with the switch, but at this point, I find that it's doing really well.
So you've actually mitigated the risk, and you're able to move forward, save energy, go to cold water instead of hot, and raise your ice temps.
Exactly. And I think the overall savings between, with the temperature being up, of course, everything runs less. Oh yeah, we're anticipating, payback within this season. So, between now and, say maybe March or May of next year, we should have, made it up in savings after the rebates and everything else.
So you have a big reputation at the Kal Tire Place for good ice quality. Was this a big risk to go to a deaerator system?
I would think to a degree it probably was. But again, I open up very good lines of communication with everybody and say, hey, let me know, and I'll tell you what we're tweaking, and we'll go from there. So yeah, there's always a role, because you have to sell it to the groups. So far, groups are happy. I want to see when people are in the building and the temperature of the building rises with all those bodies, and then see how the plant has to be adjusted according to that. That's and games are way easier on the ice anyway. So with the density of the REALice, I'm thinking once we go into game situations, the ice will be even better. And I already noticed reduced snow on the ice. I did find one of our groups that has an ex-NHLer that was running a program yesterday. He said the ice was like one of the best he's seen so far out of here lately. One of my other attendants was asking him for feedback because, for one, he's a little skeptical with ice anyway, and he wanted to see how the guys are liking it. And then I talked to one of our academy guys, because they just started yesterday, and they skated it pretty hard. And I will say it was one of those situations where, whether it's REALice or whether it's regular ice, they were hard on it. I did find that it fills in, it's setting up a little bit faster. I've done a few floods with it, just to make sure that, I could provide adequate feedback. But, it's nice and clear and bright, and you could tell right away we had something going on differently. Usually our brand will run through at about 13 degrees sometimes. And yesterday we ran everything at 18 degrees on both sides. Yes, especially when a lot of us have been in, we have various lengths of time, but yeah, you kind of dig in going, well, what if it's not broke? But it's not about it being broke. It's about a new process to reduce the cost to make that ice. And that's what I was trying to explain to the guys already when they were talking about cold and hot. And, I was trying to explain to them that the amount of energy required to freeze that is reduced because it's already cold. Then you take the air out of it, which helps it set up faster, and it's all cumulative. I think part of the reason that folks are hesitant is because we're all quite a bit of traditionalists when it comes to this is what makes ice, this is how it works. In all honesty, you put in a REALice system. If it wasn't to work, well, you just change the pipes back to the way it was. It's not a tough go. I know people look at the, and that's taking the cost out of it. But I think that folks that have been in the industry a long time, that have tried it, played around with it, I think the biggest thing is people need to realize that each building is a little bit of a different animal. And I think, like mentioned, other folks have said, they've adjusted the air and the ice, working the two together and understanding your building is the sort of recipe for success with using the product.